Should diabetics reconsider rice? The truth about chapati too. Welcome back to Diabetic Champions. If this is your first time here, I'm really glad you're listening today, because we're going to talk about something that confuses almost every person living with diabetes. Rice. Chapati. Carbohydrates. If you're diabetic, chances are someone has told you at least once, stop eating rice completely. Carbs are the reason your sugar is high. Chapati is safe, rice is dangerous. But here's the strange thing. Millions of people eat rice daily and still manage their diabetes well. And millions eat chapati every day, yet their sugar remains uncontrolled. So what's really going on? Is chapati actually better? Is rice truly the villain? Or are we missing the bigger picture? Today's episode is about clarity, not fear. Just practical understanding you can actually use. Not extreme diets. So take a deep breath, relax, and let's talk. Diabetes is not about one food. One of the biggest mistakes we make with diabetes is blaming a single food. Rice. Sugar. Potatoes. Fruits. But diabetes doesn't work that way. Diabetes is not caused by rice. It is not cured by avoiding chapati. Diabetes is a condition where the body struggles to handle glucose properly. Whenever you eat food, especially carbohydrates, your body breaks it down into glucose. That glucose enters your bloodstream. In a healthy person, insulin moves that glucose into the cells for energy. In diabetes, either there isn't enough insulin or insulin doesn't work efficiently, so glucose stays in the blood, and blood sugar rises. Now here's an important truth. All carbohydrates become glucose. Rice becomes glucose. Chapati becomes glucose. Fruit becomes glucose. Even milk becomes glucose. The difference is how fast and how much. That's where most confusion begins. Why blood sugar spikes happen? Let's talk about spikes. A blood sugar spike happens when glucose enters the bloodstream faster than insulin can manage it. Imagine pouring water into a glass. If you pour slowly, no problem. If you pour too fast, it overflows. Some foods release glucose slowly. Some release it very fast. White rice releases glucose very fast. Whole wheat chapati releases it a bit slower. But, and this is important, speed is not the only factor. The spike also depends on portion size, fiber content, protein in the meal, fat in the meal, physical activity, time of day. So a food that looks healthy on paper can still spike your sugar if eaten incorrectly. And this brings us to rice. Why rice got blamed? Rice has been eaten for thousands of years. So why did it suddenly become the enemy? Because modern rice is very different from traditional rice. Most rice today is highly polished, stripped of fiber, easy to digest, easy to overeat, and rice is usually eaten in large quantities. Let's be honest. Very few people eat half a cup of rice. Most eat 2 or 3 cups, without realizing it. And often rice is eaten with very little vegetables, with little protein late at night after a sedentary day. The combination causes a sugar spike. So rice gets blamed, but portion size and lifestyle are the real issue. Rice itself is not toxic. But uncontrolled rice is problematic. Not all rice is the same. Here's something many people don't realize. Not all rice behaves the same in the body. White rice. Very low fiber, digests fast, high sugar spike. Brown rice. More fiber, slower digestion, slightly better control. Parboiled rice. Lower glycemic response, better option for diabetics. Red rice or hand-pounded rice. Higher fiber, more minerals, slower glucose release. But here's the key message. Even the healthiest rice can spike sugar if eaten in excess. Type matters, but quantity matters more. How diabetics can eat rice safely? Yes, diabetics can eat rice. But it has to be done intelligently. Here are the golden rules. First, portion control. Half a cup of cooked rice is enough. Second, timing. Rice is best eaten at lunch, when the body is more active. Third, food pairing. Never eat rice alone. Always combine rice with vegetables for fiber, protein like dal, curd, paneer, eggs, or fish. A small amount of fat. Eating vegetables before rice can reduce sugar spikes. These small habits make a big difference. Now let's talk about chapati. Chapati has a reputation of being safe. But here's the truth. Chapati is also a carbohydrate. It also becomes glucose. So why does chapati seem better? Because it has more fiber than white rice. It's eaten in fixed units. It requires chewing, slowing digestion. But chapati becomes a problem when made with refined flour, eaten in large numbers, eaten without vegetables or protein. 4 or 5 chapatis can spike sugar just as much as a large plate of rice. So chapati is not harmless, it just hides the danger better. How to eat chapati the right way? If you prefer chapati, follow these rules. Choose whole wheat or multigrain flour. Limit 1 or 2 chapatis per meal. Always pair with high-fiber vegetables, protein like dal, paneer, curd, or eggs. Avoid eating chapati alone with pickle or butter. That combination raises sugar fast. Rice versus chapati. So which is better? Rice or chapati? Here's the honest answer. Neither is good or bad by itself. Rice can be included carefully. Chapati can cause spikes if overeaten. Your blood sugar responds to total glucose load, meal balance, physical activity, your body's insulin sensitivity. There is no universal rule. Your glucose meter is your best guide. Let's end with this important message. Diabetes does not demand fear. It demands understanding. You don't need to eliminate rice forever. You don't need to blindly trust chapati. You need portion awareness, balanced meals. Consistency over perfection. Control comes from habits, not restriction. If this episode helped you, share it with someone who's confused about food and diabetes. And remember, smart eating beats extreme dieting every single time. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like and share.